Hi, sweetie. How are you doing today? Yeah, you're okay. Did you manage to find a car parking space? Yeah, you did. Good. I know sometimes around this time it can be a little bit treacherous. Yeah, but you got one. Good. Okay, I'm glad. So now you can just relax and you don't need to worry about that for afterwards. Is it a space quite close to here? Yeah, good. All right, that's even better. All right, so I can see that you're in today for a product recommendation. Yeah, okay. So I have selected your box. I've picked quite a few products from our store today, and I know that you're in for hair and skincare recommendations. Yeah, okay. Have you ever had anything like this before, either here or somewhere else? Yeah. So you came here a few years ago. Okay, do you know whether you came for a skincare recommendation, a hair care recommendation, or makeup? It was skincare. Okay. But your skin has changed significantly since then. Okay. So let me just try and pull up your previous package here so I can see. Okay, so I think I have you here. So it was around 7 years ago. Yeah, okay. So we would expect your skin to change in that time, okay? So these products will probably be completely different than what we were recommending then. Okay. And let me just check that I have your correct box here. So we've got 1523 and you are 1523. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So I'm not so sure how things were done 7 years ago. I didn't actually work here then, but what we like to do now is I have of course selected all your products already, but what I like to do is actually show you the product and then demonstrate them on you if that's something you would be interested in. I know some clients, they just want to kind of come in and look at the products. They don't necessarily want me to be working on them. No, you're happy for me to use them on you. Okay, good, because I do feel like that way you can actually see what the products are going to feel like on your skin, and you can also just see whether you even like the scent, the consistency, and I just feel like it gives you a little bit of a better gauge of the item itself, okay? So I have got your box here, so you can see that I can barely put the lid on, so we've definitely got a lot of products here to show you today. And I have got a mixture, so I have lots of body products. I also have some hair products as well, and then also some skincare products just for your face, okay? And I will of course explain how to use these as we're going along, okay? Now, are you going somewhere after this? Because there's quite a few products in here that would need to be rinsed off afterwards. No, you're just going to get in your car and go straight home. Okay, good. So that just means I can use a little bit more of the products here today, okay? Now, do you have a preference for whether I try the skincare first or the hair? No, you don't really mind. Okay, so what I'd like to suggest then is we start with the hair, okay? And then we'll move on to skincare afterwards, okay? So let me just take a look at your consultation that you filled in. So you said your hair is quite fine, okay? And you do struggle a little bit with drier ends. Yeah, okay. And you've said that you're not using much heat on your hair at all. Okay, all right. So let me just take a look at the ends, sweetie, because from where you are, I can't really see much breakage or dryness, really, sweetie. I wouldn't say that your hair is particularly dry towards the ends. Possibly a little bit on these shorter layers. Yeah, possibly a little bit there actually. Okay. Okay, so it's mainly at the back. Okay, so have you been highlighting your hair? Yeah, sometimes the back is tricky, isn't it? I know from personal experience the back can get a little bit broken if we're not careful. Okay, so I can see what you mean there. Yeah. There is a little bit of breakage at the end, isn't there? Okay. Yeah, I think it's more that the elasticity of the hair just isn't maybe the way it was previously, or the way you're used to seeing it, because yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. The bounce isn't there. Yeah, completely. And there's a little bit of fine, yeah, some breakage there as well. Okay. So when did you last highlight your hair? Okay. And are you using a cap, or are you just, yeah, you're doing it yourself. You're just sort of putting it over. Okay, that's okay. Don't worry. So it actually looks in really good condition, really. There's not, I mean, sometimes people, again, I know from personal experience, if we're doing our own hair, we can sometimes, it can get a little bit damaged, but I wouldn't necessarily say that your hair looks damaged at all. I can see what you mean in that there are certain layers which have got a little bit of breakage, and I think we probably need to address that before it gets any worse. What I would probably recommend as well is that you have a regular trim. Yeah, because of course products can only go so far, but I do think that a really good trim actually on those ends would make the world of difference as well. Okay, but we do need to focus again on the elasticity, because the elasticity of some of the layers as well isn't that great, and I do think we could improve that. Okay. Now, one of the products that I personally use as well, and I feel like it's really good if you are having bleach on your hair. So this is a pre-shampooing treatment, and it's the elasticizer. Yeah, you've heard of this before. A lot of people do hear of this, or they're already using it. So what I suggest with this is you want to rinse your hair first of all. So before you do anything else, you want to rinse your hair and then apply this, okay? Now, because of course we don't have a shower here, what I will have to do is just dampen your hair a little bit just to show you it. Is that okay? Yeah, all right. So this is just to make sure that the product actually penetrates into the hair follicle. Okay. Just get these pieces at the front as well. Okay. And then you just want to take a really small amount of this, okay? So you're probably looking around that much, okay? And then you just want to work it in with your hands like this. And then just really work it through the hair. I would focus primarily on the ends, particularly on those places that we said have a little bit of breakage, okay? Because it will just bring that bounce back. Okay. But you don't want to forget the bangs as well, because sometimes the ends of the front can look a little bit wispy. Okay. Okay. And then what you can do, and this is completely optional, but I do feel like this just helps make sure the product really soaks in, is you can get a shower cap or a towel, and then what you want to do is just blow dry around it. So of course not directly onto the hair, but just around it, okay? So let me show you. So you just want to get a towel. Let me just see, I might actually pin your hair back as well, just so it's off your face a little bit for the skincare. So this piece is off. There we go. And just tie that there. And then just gonna put some pins in as well, just to make sure that stays there, okay? All right. That one. There. And then just your bangs as well, because they are on the shorter side. Okay. And then I'm just going to wrap a towel around your head, okay? And there we go. Just twist that. I'm just going to tuck that behind your ears as well, just to make sure that stays. And like that. Okay. All right. Now, how does that feel? Yeah, it's okay. Good. Just don't want to make it too tight around your face. Okay. So, like I said, you then, optional, but a really good step is to just get your hair dryer and just work around, okay? So, of course, you're going through the towel, and it's just helping to generate a little bit of heat. It's not too much, so I would say just use it on quite a low setting. I'm using this on number 2, and there's 5 settings, okay, just to give you a little bit of a reference point there. Okay. All right. Okay. And I'd probably say just to do this for a few minutes, okay? You don't want to do it any longer than 5 minutes. Okay. And what you want to do then, after you've blow dried it a little bit, is just really kind of work it in with your hands through the towel. So just do something like this. Okay. Okay. What you can also do, and I have included this in your box as well, is of course you would do this underneath the towel, but this is really good at working the product in as well, so it's a little scalp massager, okay? And what I like to do with this is just really focus it on particularly this area of the scalp. It does, it feels really relaxing, doesn't it? I like to do this on my own scalp quite regularly. Okay. Okay. And like I said, I will include that in your box as well. It's a really good tool to use just to help you de-stress. It of course feels really nice, but it's really good at promoting hair growth as well. Okay, so what you want to do then, I will just remove this towel from your head. Okay, so what you want to do then is rinse your hair out and just use your regular shampoo. Okay, I do recommend using any shampoo as long as it's sulfate free. Okay, and that's really popular in the market these days, so there's lots of different sulfate free shampoos you can use. Okay, I will include a few sachets of some samples we have, but I don't typically focus too much on shampoo. I typically focus more on pre-shampooing and then conditioning afterwards. Okay, all right. So once you've rinsed off your hair, you've shampooed it, you've rinsed it off, what I would suggest doing then is using some sort of oil treatment. The one that I've picked out for you is Moroccan oil. I really like this one, particularly on the ends. So we'll just let you smell it because it smells so beautiful. And what I would do with this, of course I can't really show you now because your hair is damp, but I would just work it through this section particularly, and then of course at the back where there's that breakage that we said before. So I would really concentrate quite a lot of it on there. Okay, and what you want to do as well, and I will just show you a little bit because the ends of the hair are drying, and it just gives you an idea as to what it kind of does for the hair. So you just want to kind of blend it in there, mix it in there like that, and you can really tell that when you work it into your hands, it really releases the most beautiful scent, and it's such a nice product to use. Okay, so then what I would suggest you do is you rinse that off, probably leave it on for around about an hour if you can. It would be better if you can sleep in it, but I know that's not always possible depending on your working routine. Okay, now what do you typically do? I know you said you don't use any heat on your hair, so what do you typically do in terms of styling? Yeah, so you just do a sort of braid. Okay, so let me show you. What type of braid do you do? Yeah, just something a little bit messy. Okay, so let me show you what I think would work really well with your hair. Let me just take a little bit of this down, because what I think, let me just show you, what I think would work really well for you is just getting, you could get a little bit of hair here like this, and what you could do is twist that like that, and then just work the braid over here, because what I think this would do is just help ease the pressure on the scalp, because I think with the braid you're doing, even though it's messy, it's maybe pulling a little bit toward here. Okay, so the bun that you had when you came in, there's a little bit too much tension around here, and what that's not too great at doing is causing excess hair loss. Okay, so anything that's really pulling on the hair, I would recommend we try and find an alternative. Okay, so let me just show you what, and of course just let me know if I'm overstepping here. Of course it's not part of our product recommendation, but I just really do think you could benefit from just kind of loosening that up a little bit. And I'm just doing a simple plait here, okay, so it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. And then you could sort of twist it and do something like that. Now, what do you think of that? Because it's not putting the same pressure or tension on the front of your hair anymore. Yeah, I do. I think it's a little bit more flattering actually as well, because you have this little kind of sprinkling of hair coming down. Yeah, good. Yeah, so sometimes I don't really like to mention anything in regards to hairstyle, but I did kind of think when you came in it looked a little bit tight just around that section there. And again, we really don't want to be putting any tension. Exactly, yeah, it's causing a little bit of traction, I think, around there. Okay, but that was kind of deviating a little bit from what we were discussing, wasn't it? But I do think that is something that would benefit your hair longer term. Okay, all right, sweetie. So I did also pick out, based on your consultation that you filled in online, a styling product, but I don't necessarily think this is something that would actually benefit you, especially because you're kind of braiding your hair. It's not really going to add much benefit. Okay, so I will take that out. Okay, so that's probably what I would do with your hair. If you do switch anything up, so you start to add any heat, then of course I would recommend using a heat protector spray in as well. Okay, but because you're not really doing that, I don't feel like it's necessary to add any more steps in there. Okay. Yeah, you're quite low maintenance when it comes to your hair. Okay, so do you think you'd be able to manage the steps that we've done today though? Yeah, okay, good. And what you can do is with the elasticizer that we talked about, you don't need to do that every time you wash your hair. No, so you can just use it probably once or twice a month, okay? Yeah, all right. And again, I would just concentrate that on the areas that need it the most as well. You don't really need to be working it necessarily all over. Okay, so let's move on to skincare now. So let me have a look. What I may just do is just get another one of these and just pin your hair back, just for the purposes of this, just a little bit more secure, just so it lets me look at your skin a little bit more. Okay, does that feel okay? Yeah, you're sure? Okay, so let me just take a look at my notes for your skincare, because I know that you did send me some photographs across, didn't you? Okay. Yeah, so today is a good skin day for you. Okay, and what is that in regards to? The dryness. Okay, so you're typically a lot more dry than this. Gosh, okay, yeah, so there's a lot of dryness. Yeah, particularly around here, it looks like from the photographs, it looks like you're prone sort of around there and there. Yeah, a little bit on the forehead as well, but predominantly there. Okay. All right. Now I was just looking at the skincare products that you're currently using, so thank you for detailing all of that for me. It's really helpful. I do think you're using quite harsh ingredients. Yeah, you're just kind of using what you have around. Okay, so you're using salicylic acid, niacinamide, and you're also using a retinol. Okay, are you using those at the same time of the day? So you're using one, then the next? Yeah, okay. So I definitely wouldn't suggest doing that, okay? I do have some products here today that I think would be a little bit better for your skin type. It's not that they're necessarily bad ingredients, but I just think for your skin type, we're definitely going a little bit overboard there, okay? Particularly with the salicylic acid, I don't think it would really be a product that, or an ingredient that I would recommend for your skin type. Let me just see. Yeah, it's just that salicylic acid is really good if you have acne prone skin. It's a really good ingredient to use at helping to kind of unclog any blocked pores, but I don't necessarily think that's something that you would need to use. No. I mean, If you really wanted to keep that ingredient in, we could use it in a mask rather than kind of a leave-on agent, because I know you did used to be acne prone, and I know sometimes it is a little bit daunting to not be using anything that's specifically targeted for that. But yeah, so niacinamide can help with that as well, but it's just the niacinamide you're using is in a moisturizer, so it's a very small percentage, but okay. All right, let me have a look. So what I think you should do, I know you're using a cleanser at the moment. Is that the CeraVe cleanser? Yeah, so you can go ahead and continue to use that. I don't think we need to switch that up. What I think we do need to switch up is the moisturizer. So let me just show you. So this is one that I think would work really well for your skin. It's full of ceramides, so it's really good at helping kind of replump the skin and also just help treating those dry areas as well. So you want to be taking probably around that much. And I would just focus this mainly on the cheeks, but you can of course go to the forehead as well. Yeah, you can tell it feels so much richer on the skin. Good, and that's really what we want for your skin type, because we don't really want to be stripping it of anything. We really want to rebalance that moisture. Yeah, and if you can just close your eyes for me, thank you. Gosh, the rain is coming down really heavy now, isn't it? Yeah, you brought your umbrella, good. Okay. All right. So what does that feel like? Yeah, and you don't mind the rich feeling, it feels good? Good, okay. Now, what you can do, and I did pick this out for you based on, I know you mentioned you have a little bit of pigmentation around here, so I did pick out a product with vitamin C and to really try and target that, okay? Now, let me just see. So what I would do with this is actually a mask, so you wouldn't necessarily put this on over your moisturizer, but just for today we can show you it over it. It won't irritate your skin or do anything different. It just may not penetrate the same way it would penetrate if you didn't have the moisturizer on. Okay, I'll just let you smell that again because it's beautiful, isn't it? It's actually got an orange scent to it, so you're probably using about that much. Again, just a very small amount, and you want to work it in hands, and it is a little bit goopy, so it's quite nice on the skin. Close your eyes. I'm just going to go under the eyes there. So you don't need to put this on your eyelids, but you can go underneath, just like that. Okay. Okay, so I know you also mentioned you do tend to get quite dry, chapped lips. Yeah, particularly in this weather. Okay, so this is something that I think would really benefit you. So it's an overnight lip mask, okay? And I will just use a spatula for this. what you want to do with this, and just bear in mind with this, it is very rich, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend using this during the day, okay? But just before you go to bed, and I'll show you, it's quite goopy, you just want to get quite a small amount like that, and then you just want to work it in. If you can just pout for me, thank you. You just want to work it in to your lips there. And around the side. Okay. Yeah, it feels really moisturizing, doesn't it? I notice when I use this straight away, my lips just feel like they've had such a drink of hydration. So it actually has hyaluronic acid in, so it's not just a kind of barrier. It actually works at increasing hydration on the lips. Okay. So I know you also mentioned you are quite prone to dry skin on your arms as well. Yeah, okay. So a really good product to use for the body, and I have been using this myself as well, and I think it's such a good product to use. It's actually a body butter, so it's a little bit richer than a typical normal moisturizer, okay? And you can smell again, it's so beautiful. It's actually in a scent of a cake, so it's called cake butter, and it does smell absolutely glorious. So I will just use some of this on your arm so you can see how beautiful it feels. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like a typical moisturizer, does it? It feels so much richer. What I like to do as well with this is actually bring it onto my hands. I have included a hand cream in your box, but I do feel like you can kind of double this up as a hand cream as well. So I'll just kind of mix it into your cuticles there as well, just to make sure they're moisturized. Okay. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites actually in the box. It's a product that I use all throughout the year, but it's so nice. Okay. So like I said, I do have some hand creams in here as well. I have included a few sachets of them, okay? So let me just show you this one. And if you just hold your hand out. Yeah, so this has more of a medicated smell, really. It's got a lot of peppermint in, and I think there's a little bit of tea tree in as well. So it's definitely not as kind of floral or as kind of sweet smelling, but it is a really good product to use on your hands. Okay. How does that feel? Yeah, good. Okay. If you are really set on using something that is quite astringent, so like the salicylic acid, what I would recommend is that you actually switch that to something like tea tree and use it in a mask form. Okay, so this is just a sheet mask, but it is infused with tea tree as well. Now I can absolutely use this on you today if you want, but you would need to leave it on for around about 20 minutes. So I'm just conscious that you would obviously have to drive home in it. No, leave it for now. Okay, so I'll pop it in your box. If you do have any questions about it, of course, you can just contact me, okay? But it is a really beautiful product to use. Okay. Okay, sweetie. So that is everything in your box today. I will make sure that I send all the details across to your email address as well, just to make sure you have a rundown of everything that we've gone through, okay? Do you have any questions about any of the products? Anything that you want me to clarify? Anything that you want me to kind of just explain a little bit more? Yeah. So the body butter, yeah, so you can use that every single night, absolutely. So you don't need to use that as kind of like a mask. You would just use it every single night. Yeah, so you have your bath, and then after your bath, you would come out and just use the body butter. I really feel like as well, if you use it on your legs, when the summer rolls around, it's really nice because they're already really moisturized and they've been taken care of, okay? Yeah, anything else? No. If you do have any questions, so just make sure to email me, or you can ring me or even text me, okay? All right, sweetie.